rack, and they're not getting that back on there. But you're probably right, Jim. They probably threw the winch line underneath just to suck it in to hopefully pull it up.
I bet they're shaking their heads now, just going, how can that possibly happen? What has happened? Who have we set in the off-road God chamber that this could happen to us?
Yeah, but we say it every year at Hammers. It's like, if you don't think it can happen, it's going to happen here. Especially here we are well into the afternoon hour. We haven't had a finisher come in this late in a long time.
No, you're absolutely right. This is amazing stuff as we're crossing down into the 8th hour of this race.
Yeah, so we are still not done. We still have a little bit of racing to do, but right now we have And so it's absolutely amazing that we have this racing going on right now. And as you said, 8 hours. We haven't had a finisher this late in so long. And more importantly, this is our finisher. And second place is probably an hour and change behind him.
Absolutely. It's incredible. Now, we were talking about this the other day. When you see all these cars line up, the days of 35 spline shafts are gone. All of these vehicles, particularly the big cars, are running 40 spline, 45 spline, 10-inch diffs, the biggest, gnarliest parts you've ever seen. And it's carnage out there on the racecourse. But joining us in the booth and sitting next to you is none other than Bailey Cole.
Hi, Bailey.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, my day, I got a coffee in front of me, had a really good day, and unfortunately, you have not.
No, it was still a great day.
Still a great day.
Could have ended a little better, I think.
It would have been pretty awesome to check off 3 finishes, though.
It would have.
Yeah, but we did see, so we saw you and Jack. What happened?
We lost. Motec decided it didn't want to run the fans anymore, so overheated the transmission, and then from there on, wasn't going anywhere.
There's no more forward. You got a box full of neutrals, as we say.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll happen. We saw, and in the worst possible spot too, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
We were watching that unfold in Jack. So you were stuck there, and then we saw, was it Horschel got broken in the exact same spot?
Yeah, Horschel broke. Cole Clark rolled over right next to us. It turned into a little bit of a cluster there for a minute.
And so is the car still out there, or were you able to get it back?
So Horschel had like 3 gallons of tranny fluid in his car, so we poured enough in to limp it back. We're first gear, low range, and just kind of put it on back to camp.
I'll bet you it smelled great.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there's
nothing like that smell of burnt automatic transmission. For me, that smells like money. That paid for my first house. I love it. That was awesome.
Fair enough.
And right now we're watching, check this out, Bailey. We're watching history right here. This is Kyle Cheney, 191, and he is leading the Race of Kings. Now, let's not forget that he did cross the line in first place last year, but we had VCP and course errors on course, and he was penalized back down the field.
And Ben said there is going to be some issues here, but the question here that we're watching play out is really, I'm assuming he's going to be able to stack up quite a few penalties if we're looking at the only other car that's putting any movement towards beating him is almost an hour behind him on track, because the only other car that we have moving right now is Tom Ways.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
sheer
I've actually,
broken.
Okay.
Rather broken.
I've got some news as well. Just to add to the woes of Tom Ways, Jeremy Hammer has accidentally taken the wrong track on lap 2 and is now going down full of hate as well. So, yes, a very experienced driver there making quite a large mistake.
Well, so that's a lap 2 competitor made a wrong turn.
Exactly.
And ended up,
lap 3
how
trail.
would you like that to happen to you, Bailey? That's no fun, is it?
I mean, it's not fun, but, you know, when you're out on course, things get twisted, so I can definitely see it happening. But, yeah, that'd be rough.
Well, we said all along, you know, this race is going to be a driver and navigator race, and we're out there. It's a bummer you didn't get out there and be able to hit any of lap 3.
We were looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know, but you had good 2 previous races, the Can-Am UTV. You had good, amazing finish in that stock class Bronco. We saw some amazing door-to-door action between you and Brad out there.
Yeah, no, all 3 days there was some awesome racing. We were back and forth with a couple factory Polaris teams in the Can-Am race. And then me and Brad battled yesterday, and me and Eric were door-to-door for all of lap 2 today. So it was 3 full fun days of racing, just You know, some days don't always shake out the way you want, but
That's
still
right.
good days.
That's right. Well, I think we're getting ready to we're getting real close to having a leader come back into town. I see Ben step in here, so he's going to have a race ops update. So, Bailey, I'm going to thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks
good.
for the update. Always great having you here in the booth. Sorry your day did not end the way you wanted it to.
All good. See you guys soon.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks.
Bailey. Now, joining us in the booth once more is our race ops or events director, Ben Napier. Ben, welcome back.
Thanks, Jim. I thought I'd better jump down because I did just get given some fresh information from the USAC team in race control. They've been working with the Yellow Brick guys and looking at those reported issues that we had in Fuller Haight. And with the data we have at the moment, there was a RCP issue for one of those two cars. It's Cody Miller, so it's probably not that relevant anymore.
Well, because I've called it, he's out of the race.
It's going to be a struggle to get that car there.
It's going to be hard to weld that car together, yes.
We do have data on Kyle Cheney in Full of Hate, and they have reviewed it, and we do have him pinging in each of our RCPs on the way up Full of Hate.
So he's clean.
So we don't need the granular data to get that. We've ascertained that he's hit all of those. He must have been just on the edge of the line, and that's in. If you're in, you're in.
An inch is an inch, as they say, so it doesn't matter. Fantastic news.
Yeah.
And Kyle Cheney is making his way down Spooners right now. And Dave, how far from the exit of Spooners is he?
Well, you can see the top. You can see it up there. He's on his inboard. He's 250 yards from the last uphill rocks of the race course.
He is almost there, isn't he?
Yeah, so that'll be awesome to have him out. But yeah, we were watching it live on screen, and we could see on that in car, and Dave, knowing the race course so well, he was questioning whether or not, and we could see the co-driver pointing, and we'd see him dip back into the trail.
And I think his co-driver saved his race there. Absolutely, because he was obviously watching where the RCPs were. We saw him come a little bit wide. He was still within 50 feet of the rock trail, so no issues there. But then he's curved back in and gotten the RCP and driven it and achieved what we need to measure on.
Then he did exactly what this third lap was designed to do. This third lap was designed to turn this into a navigator/driver's race, and they were able to work together and make sure they got those RCPs like they were supposed to.
Well, this lap 3 is turning into a king's graveyard. We've got Cody Miller, who was a king in Pro Mod, broken. We've got JP Gomez, last year's king, broken. We've got Josh Byler, I believe it was 2020, king, broken. We've got Jason Shearer showing at 0, another king, broken. And now the only car that can challenge right now into that is going to be Tom Ways. He's going to be in the Pintrocks in Full of Hate.
Tom Ways is the guy that cut Full of Hate.
Yes,
he
absolutely.
is the original person that drove Full of Hate.
It is Tom Ways' trail.
It is.
Yeah, but I think the issue there we were talking about, Dave, is not only does he have Jason Shearer in front of him that hasn't been moving in a while. We're assuming he's in the pinch rock. We're trying to get a drone out there to find out. But we have, unfortunately, a lap 2 competitor made a wrong turn, dropped into Full of Hate.
Yeah, Jeremy Hammer's in there. And also there's another competitor that is potentially not a competitive competitor, and that's Jeff Wagner, who we think has missed a trail.
Yeah, so there's definitely some action unfolding in Full of Hate, considering that up until just a few minutes ago, the only other moving vehicle on lap 3 was Tom Ways.
Exactly, although I can tell you now that Chase Capera is pushing on well, and he's doing a great job, and he will be dropping into Full of Hate very soon.
I think it's incredible how tough lap 2 was, and how few people have actually progressed onto lap 3 and into the rocks, and how honest we've kept them with that. And then they go into lap 3 and it's just another whole world, getting up Full of Hate, hitting all those RCPs.
But right
Bloody
now, ladies,
Mary.
yeah, let's just check this out, because this is Kyle Cheney, and he is looking to exit Spooners, and when he does so, he will be coming back down into the desert, and then it'll be a 20-minute dash through the desert back towards Hammertown. Then he will have Resolution and Backdoor, and then that famous short course and the checkered flag. Can he do it, Ian?
I want to say yes, but at the same time, whenever we do that, we curse them. So I'll say let's hope so, because it seems in the history of us calling this race, Jim, whenever we have gotten this close to the finish and we call the leader and we say, oh, he's got it, then we end up with a broken transmission a mile from town, or a front upper link coming off on one of the Gomez's. We've always sort of cursed them with that, so I'm just going to leave it with, I'm sure he sure hopes so, and so do we.
Well, we're now getting a lot of cars starting to get into the rocks on lap 3. So I'm just going to cut back on those and just have a look and see who we've got.
While you look into that, Jim, I'm going to duck back up the hill. We're not far away from having some finishes, so I'm going to get back to work, and I'll leave you guys to it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much to Ben Napier, our event director.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thanks for keeping us up to date, because that was one thing that we were speculating here in the booth about those RCP issues, but it's awesome to hear that our current race leader was able to ping all of those in Full of Hate, which is awesome to see.
Right, let's just have a quick look. Coming into Aftershock very soon will be Robbie Gordon. Then coming down the lap 3 trail is Brian Capera, driven by Cody Young. Then we've got Justin Wicks. Then we've got Pip Justice. Then we've got Joe Gatlin. Then we've got Chad Owens. And coming into the desert right now is Rusty Byler. A little bit further back, if I just move my tracker on, we've also got Christopher Branson still moving. We've got Jonathan Dawes. We've got Philip McGilton, which is great news because he was stationary for a long time. We've also got Ryan Blount.
We have movement inside of Full of Hate. So I was about to say to you, none of that is, all that's going to play out in a minute because everyone is dead stopped and Full of Hate. But now I'm seeing Jeff Wagner has pinged past Jason Shearer, who's been stopped in Full of Hate for a while. So I'm going to assume that in a second we should see Tom Ways ping as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that tracker to see if we see Tom Ways come out in the bottom of that trail.
Jason's off the trail based on his tracker. He's up on the side road. So he's already extricated himself from being in the middle of the race course. But Jeremy's looks like he might be in it.
So are we surmising from that?
Gomez, JP Gomez is moving again.
Oh, look at that. JP Gomez back moving. That is awesome to hear as well.
That is our physical second place car on course right now.
There
that
we go.
Is. So JP Gomez, last year's king, is back up and running again. Fantastic news for JP and the Gomez
out
team.
of Spooners.
And this is Kyle Cheney, and he's now heading back towards town. He's dropping out the bottom of Spooners and into the desert.
It was about this time last year when the front end collapsed, yeah?
Yes, it was in the desert. He
Like
lost that shock absorber.
the exact same mileage, the exact same race course.
And have you seen Cody Miller? The front.
I did see Cody Miller's. The front end broke off that car.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, as we said before, just
It's a
because
prime
you're leading
opportunity to stretch the chassis, though. He could add like 6 inches to it and have it a little bit longer, Can-Am.
So as we said before, this is your current race leader, but this race is never decided until you actually get that car all the way back into Hammertown. But the big news right now is the fact that JP Gomez has got his car, and there he is right there on screen. That's JP Gomez up and moving. That is physical second on course. We were worried because we saw tools coming out. We saw him crawling all over the car. So whatever his issue is, I'm glad to see he's got it fixed and he's moving again, because that is your current second place car as we cut right away to your current race leader.
Now we've got to think about what could it have been that he could actually fix out there in the field. So my thoughts were onto, was it a fuel pump? Do these people carry fuel pumps? Not usually, because they usually have 2 fitted to the car, and that's considered their redundancy. So I'm thinking maybe steering pump or something along those lines.
Steering pump or alternator.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
It could be a steering pump, could be an alternator.
But
We'll know more when they get back. When he gets back to town, we can ask him. But a lot of these guys, you know, the more and more you talk to them, they're carrying fewer and fewer parts to shed weight off the car as well. Because, you know, the question becomes how many spare parts you carry, because every spare part just adds weight and weight and weight.
It does indeed, but this race is going to change that idea, I do believe, because this race is not the sprint race that Hammers races have been in the last few years. So this race, I think, is going to change the whole thing. You're going to see more people like the Millers, more like the Bylers, carrying a vast quantity of parts and extra tools on these cars.
I can give you one more of that. What if you did lap 1 and lap 2 with no spare parts, dropped into pits before you went into lap 3,
Stop talking
and
now,
then
Ian.
loaded up?
Stop talking now. Sorry.
So here we
It's about
go.
that time when I'm watching, and you say stuff like that, and I'm like, oh no, I've got to go up and talk to Ian.
All right, so right now we have our current second place. This is JP Gomez making his way through the trail. This is second place as he tries to move down through this rock section, and really that's the only other car that, well, we have Tom. I haven't checked on Tom Ways in a
Yeah,
second.
I'm just
Jim,
trying
what
to
do we
look for
got?
3. I'm just coming back to you. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Tom Ways is still showing as stationary in Full of Hate.
Yeah, we see Jeff Wagner out, but we are quite certain that there's going to be an issue with Jeff Wagner. But yeah, so third place would be on course a few minutes ago, still moving, was Tom Ways, but we're seeing him not moving at all.
He's in full of hate. There's
Been in there.
5 places that not moving is normal.
Yeah, and as we said before, it could be a tracker issue. Some of these spots where these guys get in here and the tracker doesn't ping, we don't pick them up, and then the next time the tracker pings, they're stopped trying to climb over an obstacle as well.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we are in Johnson Valley, California. We are here right now for the Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. This is the 4400 Race of Kings. And
JP just went the wrong way on race course. He just went the,
Oh, he heard you, Dave.
Yep. So now he's gotten back on the burn. He just finished his last new lap 3 trail. He's going to go up the road here about a half-mile, turn left, come down No Name Canyon, and then over to King's Veto. And by the way, when we go back to King's Veto, we could probably spell Veto with an E, maybe with 2 E's, depending on how you want to spell it.
I gotcha. But as we're heading back round now, I can tell you that Kyle Cheney is our current race leader, and he is in the desert, and he is heading back towards Hammertown. Look at this. What do you reckon, about 80 mile an hour there?
Well, you could look down for a second and see his
37,
37, 38. Yep. I could see. So that's about 80 kilometers.
He's survival mode right there. Up to 50. Those are the big holes as you come back, and as you get closer down to the mountain, you end up getting back into cross grade as well.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need to drive fast. He just needs to get back to Hammertown. But the trouble is, these drivers, they're programmed to drive fast. The cars are set up to drive fast. And sometimes if you bleed too much speed, the car doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's going to be coming across through the desert. We'll see him up going through Resolution and then making the turn to get out through the bypass by back door and then get back down into town. That is your current race leader right there.
I'm going to call it. It's going to be around about sort of 15 to 18 minutes before he gets back here and makes the turn in towards Resolution.
And I believe this is JP right here, back on screen, your current second place car.
So that is JP Gomez, last year's king. And he's had issues out on track. We've seen him changing tyres. We've seen him working on the vehicle. Alternators, steering pumps. We're not sure what it was, but he's managed to fix it, and he's up and running again.
Now he's moved across the valley below Claw and going to the top of King's Veto.
Now King's Veto is called King's Veto for a reason.
Kyle made incredible work of the top rocks of King's Veto. He stepped right through them. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he's a wheel man, that is for sure. So this is not the pace I'd be expecting from JP, so maybe he's just taking it easy, making his way through. He will know that he's running second on course. So was that the turn into King's Veto there, Dave?
It was, yes. The drone was up above Choose Your Own Adventure, looking down to it.
And this here is Kyle Cheney, our current race leader, heading back through the desert towards Hammertown. As he makes his way across this lake bed, he'll be taking a hard left, come round the back of the mountains.
And there's JP Gomez, current second place right now. He's now into King's Veto. He'll be coming up shortly on a broken car. We saw really recently.
He's got
a
front flat right tire. The front right tire is flat, and it was pushing air out when it hit the rocks. Watch when he comes down here.
And if I'm not mistaken, he has no spare.
I was about to say, Jim, I think he's already used that spare.
He's got pit 2 coming up at the bottom of this trail.
So we'll keep an eye on that, see if he has to drop back into pit 2 to re-rack a spare. But that on screen right now is current set.
See the air blowing out of the tire?
Blowing out of it. Yeah, absolutely. Dave's got a good cut right on the sidewall.
This is the hardest part of this trail for him with the front right flat. He's dropping down into this turn. As soon as he makes his left at the bottom of the hill, he's hit his last VCP. And he nailed it. Good line.
So now he has to come out of this. We're assuming the tire on the back is, well, we know the tire on the back is flat, so he'll more
We
than
don't
likely.
know that. I mean, he literally just got that flat. I wouldn't change it in that trail either. You can't jack the car up.
No, I mean, the spare on the back is flat, because we saw him change that before and pull that tire up.
That's
he's
correct.
Not carrying a good replacement tire, so he's going to have to drive on that tire until he gets to remote pit.
It's a mile away. He can see the pit from there.
Yeah. Then we're going to see him pass Cody Miller here shortly. There he is right there. We saw them working on getting that car off course.
And that, as you guys know, that makes you feel a little better when you're struggling as it is, and you come across people that have gotten past you and they're struggling. That's it buoys your confidence that you can keep going.
So we're looking here right now at JP Gomez as he makes his way through these trails. Now he is heading up towards remote pit 2, or remote pit as we're calling it now. And so he will be able to take a re-rack up there and a couple of spares.
So when we watch that happen, Jim, let's jump back on the tracker and let's back up a little bit on the course and see who else do we have on lap 3 at all.
Just wanted to talk about that quickly as well, because JP, he took a full rack of new tyres before he headed out on lap 3. Just goes to show how brutal this course is.
Incredibly brutal.
And we're back on board now with the 191. This is Carl Cheney. This is your leader at the 2025 Ultima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. We are here in the 4400 Race of Kings, and Carl Cheney is laying it down and heading back towards Hammertown.
We should be able to pick him up fairly soon on that camera that we have positioned just outside of Resolution. We'll see him come up through Resolution, drop down through that trail, and then come down in through, well, we're assuming he's not going to come down through back door. We're assuming he's going to take the bypass, drop into the wash, and come back into Hammertown, but absolutely flying through the desert.
Yeah, he is indeed. He is not a million miles away from the turn to make his way into Resolution. Hammertown, are you ready for this? Well, it's going to be Carl Cheney in the 191 making his way back here. And he's going to be coming into the Ford Performance short course.
Yeah, and I'm just getting a notification, Jim, in my PCI race radios that Gomez is pulling into remote pit right now.
Yes, I can also tell you that Robbie Gordon is now sitting in the remote pit. And coming up behind him, just behind him, is Justin Wicks and Chase Capera. And, of course, Cody Addington is adding to the mix.
Hey, we just had Chris Ray sit down with us. Chris, you were co-driving for Brad Harrell, right?
No, Shannon Campbell.
Shannon Campbell. So how did that go? You're going to turn your mic's off, but let's get you on and tell us how it went for you.
Check. We good?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Went really good. Actually, Shannon, for as much as he says he can't see, he can drive really well, and he picks good lines. We had a lot of good fun on lap 1. Stayed top 10, top 15. And then getting into lap 2, we made some really fun passes. We waylanded on a claw hammer, and then got into jackhammer and had a good fun run up that. Made a good pass there. Everything went well, and then unfortunately we got into the desert and out of spooners and lost the motor. Oil pressure went to 0, and we're done.
But no windows, just lost pressure?
Yeah, just lost pressure and couldn't keep it going, and sounded not good, and pulled the pressure sender unit and tried to crank it, no oil coming out of it, so we knew we didn't have any oil going to the motor. But man, was that fun. They already asked me to come back next year, so hopefully I'll be chasing him again.
Fantastic.
I see we got Cheney right up at the top of Resolution right here. How was it? Lap 3? I'm so bummed that I didn't make it to it, but man, seems like he's on a tear, huh?
It is indeed. Right, this is Carl Cheney making his way down through Resolution right now. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready in Hammertown. It looks like we are going to be seeing Carl Cheney making his way back in here very soon indeed.
Yeah, this is it. This is the leader right now of your 4400 Race of Kings. This is Kyle Cheney coming back in. How long has he been racing for, Jim? What's the time on this? I need to know.
I can tell you now, he's in his 8th hour of racing.
8 hours of racing
Yeah,
out
we're
in
at
the
7.
desert.
We are at the moment for Carl Cheney. We are 7 hours and 35 minutes as Carl Cheney makes his way into town. Dropping down through Resolution. Now we are expecting him to take the bypass at the bottom, because why would you take on backdoor when there is that bypass? but that looks like
That's
JP
That's
Gomez.
JP Gomez leaving pits and heading out into back out into the race course. But right now, we want to stay with this right now. This is our current race leader right here. This is Kyle Cheney in this 4400 UTV coming down Resolution. As Jim said, he's got to get to the bottom of this trail, and then he has to make the decision to turn and make the split or head down through the waterfall drop, which we assume there's no reason and no way that he's going to do that waterfall drop.
Absolutely. Now, Resolution is considered one of the easier trails, but when you've been racing for 7.5 hours, when you're leading the largest rock race in the world and history is at your fingertips, there is nothing easy about this trail at all. But this is Kyle Cheney. He is the Iceman, and this is the turn. I'm expecting him to go left. Yes, he does. He's coming up over the top of the Soundhound, and he will be dropping down into the wash, and he will be able to see Hammertown.
He still has just over a mile to go to get back to town, and we've said it before, that does not guarantee you the race. Until we see him on the short course, we're not calling it for him.
I'm not calling that
No.
until I see him crossing the line.
Yeah,
but
so
right now.
Here he comes. He's down into the wash, down into below back door, and then he's going to basically go through the bottom of the mountain, up through the, and then back into our
Did you
performance
see that?
shortcuts.
He had a little fist pump there as he's coming on down through the back door wash. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance, and we are here for the 4400 Race of Kings. It started at 8 a.m. this morning with Paul Wolf lining up alongside Lauren Healy. We saw Lauren Healy leading for nearly a lap and a half before Paul Wolf took it on. From that moment, we have been swapping the lead all through the day as they made their way through the super difficult mystery lap 3. This is a defining King of the Hammers, Ian.
Absolutely. This is the King of the Hammers that the drivers asked for. They asked for a race that was going to keep them in the rocks, force them into the hardest trails out there, not allow them to take the bypasses, not King of the bypasses. This is King of the Hammers, and what you're seeing right now is history as we have our Can-Am UTV onto the Ford Performance short course.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get to your feet in Hammertown. The 191 of Kyle Cheney is round turn 19. He's heading towards the Talladega. This is it. This is history in the making right now. Kyle Cheney, as he powers round the corner, the Performance Can-Am driver, bringing in this CT Raceworks Can-Am. And look at him now, just the MBRP launch, and he will be coming round to take the checkered flag in Hammertown. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Kyle Cheney as he comes around, takes the final turner. There is the checkered flag, and there is our unofficial winner at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. Wow. Now let's throw it down to Miles, who's down in the pits right now. Miles Hasselquist, take it away.
Thank you, Jim. We are down here in town with Kyle Cheney and Terry Madden. This CT Raceworks Can-Am, it looks like it's still in great shape. Dave Cole has given him some huge thumbs up. He was so close last year, but I think it's going to stick this year. And I'm telling you, this thing still looks like it's in great shape. We saw some terrible, terrible luck for Cody Miller out there. But this one held together, and he made it happen. They are getting the trackers off, and we will have a quick little check and then send them straight to the crowd because the crowd out front is ready to see Kyle Cheney. What a great, great run. So it looks like everybody's said their little thing to you. Kyle Cheney, you're here. You were so close last year. It's looking good.
Yeah, I'm not going to say nothing. I got happy last year. So we'll just see what happens. You know, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I know what happens here. So I'm just going to, we drove our best. I drove as good as I could. My crew worked their ass off, you know, and we're here. So hopefully it'll come out in our favor.
Hey, you look good. Great job, my man. Go ahead and send up the Optima Battery main stage. This Can-Am is heading up there. We'll see how it shakes out. Again, we have to check our trackers, dot our I's, and cross our T's, but it's looking good for Kyle Cheney, who may just be making history as we speak. So I'll send it back up to you, Jim. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Miles. Wow. Just wow. Ian, what a race.
Oh, it's been an absolutely amazing race. We've been out here. This has been it's been edge of the seat all day long. Here we have multiple race leaders changed. We've had multiple issues. This is our first car across the line, and honestly, the only other car that's still moving out there for second place, or I shouldn't say that, the next car that's back moving, which is quite exciting, is Mr. JP Gomez, and he is still quite a ways out from Hammertown. And then if we go back down through the line, there's still a long ways to go before we get to who could possibly be third. So right now, there he is on top of the car. Congratulations, Kyle Cheney and Terry Madden.
Yeah, congratulations to these guys. What a race it's been. And they just sat it absolutely perfectly, made their way through these trails, these iconic trails. And this is going to go down in history as one of the toughest hammers of all time. But right now on stage is Pam Hall, and she has our winner, Kyle Cheney. Take it away, Pam.
Thank you so much, Jim. Kyle Cheney right here at the finish line. We're not going to go into too much detail right now because you're going to go right up there to the stage and go through your race day with Jim and everybody up there. But Kyle Cheney, congratulations right now, unofficially in this #1 spot. How do you feel?
Man, it's awesome. Really, I got to give it up to my crew. I mean, they worked their asses off on this thing. You know.
We know that it takes so much perseverance to get to the finish line. That was one heck of a race course that Dave Cole put on out there. And you made it look like it was pretty easy. I don't want to say that too much out loud because it'll be even harder next year. But all in all, what did you think of that last lap 3 that you guys did not even know what it was going to be?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, we didn't even know where we were going. There was just nothing there. We just had to pick where we were going. And I don't know. There's definitely a lot of luck involved in this, but we picked some good lines. You know, Terry was an awesome navigator. You know, the car stayed together. You know, we just took care of the car all day. You know, guys were passing us, and I'm like, just let them go. Like, we got to keep this car together.
Exactly right there. You just said it. I'm going to let you get some pictures so you can move right up there to the booth. But you guys give it up for Kyle Cheney right now, unofficially in that #1 spot.
Thank you very much, Pam. Yes, absolutely. Good to see Kyle back in town. And as he said, down talking to Miles, he's going to wait until that race ops pulls that tracker and gets all that information up to us. We're going to work on getting him up here. As soon as they're done taking some pictures, we're going to bring both Kyle and Terry up on stage because, well, we got probably a little bit before JP gets here, and we want to talk to them for a little bit about their race day.
Yeah, we do. One incredible scenes here in Hammertown. Let's not forget, it's all unofficial, but this is absolutely awesome. And I believe this is what we call redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, first across the line, and then unfortunately ended up further back in the pack on adjusted time. But yeah, definitely right now as we jump out to the tracker, Jim, JP Gomez, where is he? How long until we see him back into town behind?
Yeah, we're looking now on the tracker and trying to work out exactly where JP is. But I can tell you where he isn't, and that's not back in Hammertown. As still the celebrations continue here. And now JP Gomez, I'm looking right now. He's come through outer limits, and he will be making his way down into Spooners at any moment. Now, there is lap traffic in Spooners, but I don't think that will bother JP. So he obviously stopped in remote pits, re-racked his tyres, and got back on track. And this is one of our lap 2 competitors making their way down through back door. I believe that that might be Mike Slarson that we're just watching there. But right now, the big news, if you're just joining us at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance, is Kyle Cheney and Terry Madden have just crossed the line in first position here at the Race of Kings.
That's right, Jim. And we right now, we're looking at second place right now. He's still a little ways out, and we got some time. So what we're going to do, instead of having Pam interview Kyle and Terry down on stage, we're going to drag them up here into the booth, set them down, get some headsets on them, and we're going to learn about what their day was like in the dirt. So here he comes right now. I got Mr. Kyle Cheney coming up here. We're going to get him headsetted up. We're going to hear about his day in the dirt, and then I'm going to get Terry Madden over here. Terry's going to come over here, and we're going to strap him in as well, and we're going to talk because we watched some absolute textbook driving out there, and we're going to wait. But as I said, we're waiting to hear from race ops, but absolutely it'd be great to get these two guys in here, talk about your race day, because there's a couple things that we noticed while you guys are on track that were absolutely amazing to see. Dave's going to get in here, shake some hands.
Thanks,
first.
Dave. Thank you.
So Dave has now shaked hands. That's good.
Rightio. Well, joining us on stage right now is, I can't believe this, we are our 4400 Race of Kings. First across the line, we've got Terry Madden and, of course, Carl Cheney. Carl, talk to us. What was that like? 3 of the most epic laps in King of the Hammers history.
It just wouldn't end. It just kept going and going and going, and it wouldn't end. I'm like, and like we didn't even know where we were going. That lap 3, it was so challenging. Like not pre-running the track, and not knowing where you're going, just following a GPS, and there not being any trails. Like Dave just I think he made it from an airplane. Just put a line through the wherever we were, and we just had to guess your best and get to the RCPs, and it was crazy.
Now, I want to interrupt
awesome.
you there because you said you didn't know where you're going, but we noticed one thing because we were watching live in-car, and we were watching the live in-car feed, and what we were seeing was absolutely amazing, and there's one thing we can tell you because Ben's already told us. So we were watching you go up through Full of Hate, and we were watching you weave back and forth, and we'd see Terry's hand slinging in front of you, get back in, go left, and we were watching, we're like, we don't know, did he get close enough to the RCP or not, because we could see you dipping back in, and just a few minutes ago, Ben came up and he said, hey, I got some report on Full of Hate VCPs. Some of the Can-Ams missed some of the RCPs, but guess who didn't? You.
Now, let's talk to Terry here. Now, Terry Madden, you've been co-driving and you've been driving these trails out here for so many years. And we were sitting here and Ben turned around and he said, the guy who's going to be helping win this today is his co-driver, and that's you, Terry Madden. You held him straight. There was a couple of places where we could see you were looking for alternate lines, and then we'd see those fingers come out, that hand come out, pointing directions and putting you back onto track. Great to see. What were those trails like out there?
Well, I love the format. The not pre-running was last time we did that was with you guys in Europe. When we ran all the Ultra 4 Europe series, there was no pre-running, and we learned real quick not to qualify first because you were actually driving over trees. But not knowing the course and having to figure it out along the way it's a whole nother challenge. It made it so much more fun.
Yeah, and while we were watching the in-car, we just sat here all the time, and we were watching the in-car and watching you drive, especially up through Full of Hate. That's a no-joke trail, and we're watching you we saw a couple times you'd roll up on a ledge, line up, back up, and even Dave was like, there's no way, and then you're over it and gone. Like, it was absolutely stunning driving on your part and absolutely amazing navigating on your part, because when Ben came up and said, we have some RCP issues, we just assumed, because of the way you guys were kind of in and out of that trail, that was it. But he was like, no, they clipped them. They were in. They did exactly what they had to do. Drop in, grab that RCP.
Well, there was one there I was concerned about, and it was because Blyerler was on us, and I didn't want run over, so we went a little wider to get out of his way, and I was afraid we might have missed it.
No, you're
because we were trying to get out of his way.
As I say, it's all unofficial right now, but right now the word is from Race Ops, clean, which is absolutely fantastic. Now let's just flick back to 2024, and we were in this position back then. However, it was a very different story. We had some VCP and RCP issues, and it was all very different indeed. But this year, gentlemen, what a drive. Absolutely incredible. And to see the domination as you came through that tail end of lap 3 was absolutely remarkable. Talk us through a little bit about this car. Talk us through about the equipment. I'm looking up there, and I can see there's still a brand new tyre in the rack. Those Maxxis tyres look like they've done everything they needed to do.
Yeah, so, first off, it's the Can-Am Maverick R. That CT Raceworks did the full chassis. We had to have certain specifications to race 4400, and Can-Am and CT Raceworks came in together, and they wanted to make this happen for us and the Millers, and they came together, and this is the idea they came up with. That way we could run 37s and have a safe car. Battling out here with all the top guys. In the big 4400 trucks. I got to give it up. My whole team, my crew, Ames Oil, Raceline Wheels, Maxxis tires. We had one flap, but it was my fault. I clipped a rock twice the same time I did it the first lap, and I tried to remind myself not to do it again. I did it again, same exact rock, and the second one got us, and we had to change a flat. But we had the AGM jack. It worked awesome. I got factory UTV skid plates. That thing takes a freaking beating. RCV. We may have had an issue last race, but we didn't have an issue this race, and this one was way harder. So, I'm glad that we got that issue resolved in the 4900 race. It'd have been nice to, been battling with Brock in the 4900. That definitely really sucks that, I didn't get to, go out there and either get beat by him or at least put on a show. But, I'm just glad to be here today with me and Terry, my whole crew, and everybody that got us up here.
Now, I want to know, when we talked about, we had Lauren up here earlier, and we were talking about communication with the other teams and what's going on. So I want to know, how much communication were you guys looking for on lap 3? Were you told what was going on with Miller behind you? Did you know that his car literally broke in half?
So we didn't know anything about Miller until we were just, we knew we had passed JP and Blyler going up whatever the heck that trail was. And so we knew we were physical first.
Whiskey and rocks.
Whiskey and
on the rocks.
Whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah, whiskey on the rocks. So, so we knew we had the physical lead, but, I didn't want to push my car any harder. I felt like, we were on the verge anyway, and you know how that last lap is. It's like, you feel stuff that's probably not there, so, but,
Yep.
Then we came through, we came through the remote pit 2 going back down into back door, or going back down into outer limits, and they said Cody was 2 minutes behind me, and I'm like, well, it is what it is. I'm not pushing any harder. My car's good, and, I'm not going to break it. And then, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Poor
that
guy.
happened at the bottom of King's Vito. There was a little bit of wiggle, and then the whole front of the car literally separated from itself. So, Terry, let's talk a little bit about your day. This, as we said before, this race was really going to be especially lap 3, was really going to rely heavy on navigation. Do you feel that basically was served? Do we think we built a good race course to basically treat a driver right and test the navigator as well?
I've raced a lot of hammers. I mean, this is my 16th year here. And the format this year, the way the RCPs were, the way it worked, it was just truly, I don't want to discount any of the past ones, but we've learned so much from all of it. It was just, it was organized. We knew where we needed to be. It seemed fair. There wasn't the gray areas there'd been in the past, and having the RCPs, knowing what we needed to do, knowing where we needed to be. It used to be tough. You'd pull in a trail and you're like, do I take this? Do I not take this? Because everybody else is going to take it, but will you be penalized? Will you not be penalized? And having the definitions that we have just made the course amazing this year.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Absolutely. And for you as a driver, compared to previous years, what did you think of having that crazy lap? Because we saw you in some of those trails where there was obviously no burned-in line. You're just like driving blind into some of these trails.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know where we were going, but yeah, we were just trying to stay as close to that line as we could, and go towards the RCPs, because you couldn't see them, and there was just mountains and shrubs and brush and no trail, and just hoping that we were going the right way to get to the VCP. RCP.
That is absolutely awesome to hear. Well, guys, thank you so much for being up here with us. We do have JP coming back into town here shortly, so we're going to...
Well, no, JP, I'll just stop you there, because JP is still showing as in Spooners right now, so we need to keep an eye on that.
But no, that track, don't trust that tracker.
Okay.
It's no good. It's been messing up with him all day. But I'm going to say thank you guys for stopping up. We want to anybody you got to say thank you to, because I know you guys probably got a pile.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Can-Am, CT Raceworks for building the car, Ames Oil, RCV axles, PWR cooling, PRP seats, Evo Power Sports, Hess ZRP, Go Lithium, Action Off-Road, Maxxis tires, Raceline wheels, VP Race fuel, factory UTV skid plates, diodynamic lights. I got to give it up to Mike from Fox. He got my suspension dialed, and I got to give it up to Pete from G-Force. He's got these little DSC adjusters, and it even made Mike's stuff better, which I didn't think was possible. But Mike spent a bunch of time out here with me getting this car dialed, and I'm happy we were able to get it done for him.
Awesome. Terry, anybody you got to give a shout out to?
I mean, just everybody that supports all this year round. It's the family, everybody that takes care of us. I've raced a lot of hammers, and I've wanted 4400 for a long time, and I'm fortunate enough I've had a lot of teams offer, but I've seen as my best chance at winning it for a while. And Kyle's spent a ton of time out here. Can-Am has taken care of us and been out here supporting us. We've spent a lot of time out here, and it's just nice to have the support and get to do this.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys both taking time to get up here. We're going to let you get back down on stage, take care of what you got to take down there, and then we'll bring JP back into Hammertown. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kyle Cheney and Terry Madden, our unofficial winners here at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. They brought their Can-Am Maverick across the line. This CT chassis vehicle has been absolutely fantastic and has dominated in lap 3 at this incredible 4400 Race of Kings.
Absolutely, Jim. Now, what we're watching right now on screen is JP Gomez. That is our current second place car on track right now. Now, yes, we were looking at him. He is coming out of Spooners. He has to go through this long single track section, and then he'll be blasting through the desert. We're assuming that he's still on track well. We do see him kind of checking up a little bit here and there, but he's definitely might be a little bit off pace. But the reality is he really doesn't have to push that car too hard, because, Jim, let's slide back through the tracker, because while we had Terry and Kyle up here, I do see Tom Ways looks like he has made it out of Full of Hate.
Yeah, it does. Tom Ways is heading down towards Chocolate Thunder right now. So that's absolutely fantastic news for him, but that just goes to show the bottleneck that was happening in Full of Hate. And if I look on Full of Hate right now, I can see that there is lots of vehicles. So
There's
let's
a
just have a
whole
look.
lot of pink circles in Full of Hate.
Yeah, let me just zoom in on those. The most notable, of course, is Jason Shearer, who's off the racing line. Then behind him, we're seeing Robbie Gordon. Now, this is interesting as well. Robbie Gordon, it has only just got in there. So let's just see. The fact he's showing 0, I'm not really that worried about right now.
Absolutely not.
I think Robbie was moving. Behind him, we've got Brian Capera, who is also moving, but he's in a very difficult trail, and also Justin Wicks. So there are 4 vehicles in there, including Chase. Although Chase does look like he's off the racing line. So there's at least 3 vehicles in there that are potentially racing right now.
But right now, we are watching our current second place position in the 4400 Race of Kings. That is JP Gomez. And when I say way behind him, I mean way behind him is our third place vehicle. And the reason we're saying that is because he is the only vehicle on that third place, on that third lap, that is moving aside from Jeff Wagner, but we're quite certain that Jeff Wagner is not actually in contention for that third position on the podium. But Tom Ways, he still has a long way to go, but Tom Ways is technically right now sitting in third place while we're watching JP make his way across the desert.
Yeah, so JP, if everything goes to plan, will be our next finisher here. And he's had a tough day. JP is going to have lots of stories for us. But still, the action continues here. Now, I believe that's the old the car that used to belong to Andrew McLaughlin. Okay, this is Lauren Healy. Sorry, no, it's not. It's Vaughn Gittins Jr.
That's Vaughn Gittins
I'm getting
Jr.
my fun havers confused.
Yeah, and Vaughn is making the drop down back door instead of going up around the bypass, which is why, Jim? Why at this point, really?
Well, these cars are incredibly capable. They have a very long wheelbase. Backdoor is no effort for these vehicles. So I'm not surprised to see him taking the drop there, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're waiting for right now in Hammertown is we should have JP Gomez coming in fairly soon. And then after that, there's going to be a little bit of a wait as we wait for possibly third place, which should be, if everybody keeps moving the way we're looking at them, should be Tom Ways in the 3-2-1. But there's still lots that can happen. But this lap 3 has now proven to be incredibly hard as our finisher crosses the line at 3:30 in the afternoon. It has been forever since we've had a finisher come in this late on this race.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, now, we were talking about this last night, and we were saying, is this going to be the Hammers where we see a return to where we see a less than 20% finishing inside time? And let's not forget, of course, that we don't actually finish until 10 o'clock tonight, plus adjusted time.
Yeah, Jim, I think I'll be doing what I normally do, which is basically hang out here until the very, very end, so that'll be around 10:30 that we stop. But we have a very special guest up on stage who's supposed to be in a car right now.
Yeah, Tom Ways, we broke a front axle shaft and tore up the winch, so we're out at the top of Full of Hate.
Oh, no.
Third place is no longer.
Oh, that is absolutely terrible to hear, because we see him moving.
Yep, we're
finally
moving back towards Maine.
But he's coming back to pit.
Yeah.
He's not continuing in the race.
Correct.
He just decided there's no point trying to keep going.
This race just keeps on
I
giving,
tell
but
you
not
what.
in the right way. Now, we know that it's Tom's greatest ambition to win this race.
For sure.
And we watched you, and we spoke to Tom during qualifying. He was like, "No, I want to qualify mid-table. I'm
Right.
not interested in that chasing up the front with all the crazy guys.
Right.
I want to run my own pace." I mean, he built this car what, about 4 years ago now.
No, it's probably been 5 or 6 years ago now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Good. Time flies when you're having
For
fun.
sure, for sure.
And but we saw him coming through there, and it was looking like you guys were on for a podium.
We were set on what we considered a safe pace for lap 3 to get to lap 3 to be able to do the rocks without having a whole lot of pressure from behind. But that's just how it goes.
That is an absolute shame. I am sorry to hear that. Glad everyone's safe.
Yep.
I'm glad you guys are coming
For
back
sure.
to Hammertown. But now that makes our job harder, Jim, because now we got to figure out who's going to make it through this mess on Full of Hate, because I got a whole bunch of pink cars, and believe it or not, one of the ones that is in there is Mr. Robbie Gordon.
It is. I can see Robbie Gordon. He's currently showing at 0 mile an hour alongside Justin Wicks, and of course I can see.
Well, let's get an update. He was in Full of Hate. Is Jason?
He's out.
So Jason's just traffic.
No.
Yep.
So who else is in there that is just traffic at this
The
point?
Wagoneer guy.
Wagner?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was it.
So
Yeah,
we
well-
got, so as far as just trail traffic at this point is probably
That's it.
be Wagner and Jason. So technically we still are assuming Robbie Gordon is moving along, and probably, who else we got in here? Jim, Robbie Gordon.
We've got a whole heap
Justin
of cars in there,
Wicks.
and also somebody else dropping into the back of Full of Hate is Rusty Byler.
Yeah, Chase Caprera.
Now I'm going to throw this out there as something. Rusty Byler will have just come through pit 2. Would he be capable of maybe picking up spares for his son, Josh?
Man, I don't know, but the question is, what did Josh break, right? And that's the question, because, I mean, he broke something in the front end of that car. But that might be what's happening, considering the fact we saw them pull the panels off of that car. But I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you
you.
so much for the update. I am sorry that your race ended the way that it is. Tell Tom that we're absolutely gutted that he did not able to put that thing on the podium.
For sure. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, man. Thank you. All right, so that changes everything for us, Jim, because we were so excited to see Tom Ways come back into town right here, but obviously that's not going to happen. But Jim's got his hand up. That means he's got something important to say.
I have news. Yes, in the AAA, Cody Addington, of course, crowd favorite in the Red Dragon single-seater. He is also entering Full of Hate, as is Rusty Byler. So we really do have a whole stack of cars sitting in Full of Hate as we just cut across here. Now, this looks like either... Why is he digging... Is he high-centered?
No, I think he's just in the sand, unless... I'm still trying to figure that one out, but I'm just going to run down through who we have sitting in Full of Hate right now as we make our way through this. So in Full of Hate right now is Jason Shera. We're getting information that he is done. We have Robbie Gordon. We have Justin Wicks. We have Brian Caprera. We have Cody Addington. We have Chase Caprera. And just dropping in right now is Rusty Byler. But right now on screen, that is our current second place. That is JP Gomez making his way across the desert floor. We should see him fairly soon up into Resolution.
Yeah, he'll be making the turn. In fact, I think looking at where he is there, I think he has already made the turn to come back down the wash, heading up towards the turn that will bring him into Resolution. I'm guessing he's probably around about 5 minutes from there.
Yeah, and so right now on screen you are watching current second place in the 4400 Race of Kings. This is JP Gomez making his way through the desert. The next time we'll see him will be on that camera that we have set up in Resolution. He'll go through Resolution, come down the Resolution trail, and then we'll see whether he makes the turn to go up around the bypass or drop down through back door. Now the other question I have, Jim, so we just saw Vaughn Gittin coming back down into town, coming down through back door. If it is 4 o'clock, are you putting it on the trailer or are you going back out?
Well, this is an interesting thing because let's be honest, you've only got 6 hours plus adjusted time to do that lap 3, bearing in mind that they've been racing already for nearly 8 hours.
And it's a semi-repaired car, so it's a hurt car too. So I think the smart move would be to just stick it in the box.
I think it will be, but these guys are professionals, and King of the Hammers is what they live for. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them go back out on a third lap.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen right now. We'll know more when he gets in here.
So as the action continues here, the big news is that Kyle Cheney is our unofficial winner here at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance.
It's
been an incredible day of racing. Over 100 cars left the line this morning, and as we are sitting here with just around about 8 hours on the clock, only one vehicle so far has made it back into town, and that is the Can-Am of Kyle Cheney and Terry Madden.
Yeah, but on screen right now, this is the second car that we expect to get back into town. This is JP Gomez. This is coming up to the top of Resolution. So we saw him battle all day long for the lead. We saw him leading this race, and then we saw him get a flat tire, unfortunately, while he was tracing Rusty Byler. And then we saw him stop, fix the car that was broken on the trail, and now he's trying to climb up through this rock section and come up through this section of through the trail and then back into town.
Yeah, he's not going to be very far away. Here we go. This is JP Gomez coming over the top of the ridgeline, and he will be dropping into Resolution and heading towards Hammertown. Now, we said it before, Resolution is not the hardest trail in Hammers, but when you're coming back in, having been racing for 8 hours, and you're dropping into this, and your car is wounded.
Yes, absolutely. But I see our good friend Ben sitting down. So whenever Ben sits down and puts on a headset, that means that we have some sort of update coming with us. So Ben, what's going on? What do we got?
Okay, guys. So we looked at Kyle's track. He's our unofficial first finisher across the line. USAC Race Control have reviewed his track and found one RCP issue at 55, which is Tortuga Blanca downhill on the first lap. That puts a 15-minute penalty on his time. His race time was 7 hours, 38 seconds and 45. He moves to 7 hours, 53 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, Jim, do you have a race clock in front of you?
I do have a race clock in front of me right now.
Can you tell me what JP Gomez is clocked at the moment?
I can tell you now that JP Gomez is currently at 8 hours, 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
So Kyle cannot be beaten.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here in Hammertown, please be on your feet as I tell you that at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance, we have an official winner, and that is the 191 of Kyle Cheney, our new King of the Hammers.
Oh, that is amazing news, and so good to get that information right away like that. That's good to hear. I know they'll be absolutely over the moon to get that info.
And there starts a new dynasty, maybe, here at King of the Hammers. The first time a UTV has crossed the line and won at Hammertown.
I'm not calling that a UTV, Jim. I'm calling it a race car.
It is a Can-Am race car.
Yes.
But let's look at this race car right now, because this is the UFO of none other than JP Gomez, last year's king here in Hammertown, and he's making his way down the backdoor wash and heading back towards the short course.
Yes, this is JP Gomez, currently second on course, going to come through the wash, going to head back into town.
Yeah, now JP Gomez, we've seen he's had issues out on track. We've seen him changing tyres. We've seen him working on the car. Let's not forget that this is a single-seat vehicle. So every trail you take on your own. He's having to do his navigation. He's having to do every single thing himself. There is nobody else in that vehicle with him to support him. And yet here he is in second place unofficially at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance.
Yeah, we saw him battle all day out there by himself. We saw him trade the lead a couple times. We saw him have to get out of the car and winch. We saw him have to get out of the car and change a flat. And then most recently, we saw him fixing the car on the trail. We can only imagine what is wrong with that. We'll probably bring him up on stage once he's up here to find out what that was all about.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. JP Gomez comes around the Talladega Bend. He has the MBRP launch, And as he flies off there, 4 wheels off the ground, he just has to make his way under the arch. He'll be taking the checkered flag, and he is unofficially second here at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. Congratulations, JP Gomez. JP drives straight over to his pit crew. They all come outside, they're all waving and clapping. And we're going to pass this down to Miles in the pits. Miles, it's all yours, buddy.
Well, thank you, buddy, but I don't have much yet going on because JP Gomez is over at Gomez Brothers Racing chatting with his team. So we'll have to, hopefully he'll come over here pretty soon. But what a crazy day of events it is. And again, congratulations to Kyle Cheney, your official winner for the 2025 Optima Battery King of the Hammers presented by Ford Performance. It's been back and forth all day long. That third lap was absolutely amazing. It's been so much to follow along all day long, and hopefully we can flag over JP Gomez over here, who was last year's King of the Hammers champion and will be on the podium once again today, it's looking like. But again, man, what a wild week. It's been a wild month, and so much action off and on all day. The lead changes today were absolutely amazing, and it was so much fun to watch. The Hammer King production crew did an amazing job bringing you all this live action. Jim, Ian, Emmy Hall, Tiffany Stone, Pam. It's been so much fun up here bringing you guys all this amazing action here. It's here he comes. He's coming this way. So hopefully we'll get him over here, get his tracker, and have one quick chat on it. But I know he's going to have a smile on his face to be on the podium back-to-back for King of the Hammers. JP Gomez is, I can't wait for this quick little hit with him, because I guarantee he's going to have a huge smile on his face, and I want to hear that laugh. To go through this course solo all by himself, just absolutely amazing. So Dave Cole's over there congratulating him right now, and they're going to have a quick little chat, and all smiles. He's already saying, I didn't know where I was going, but I can hear him from here, and I'm 50 feet away. JP is man, I love that Joe Thompson machine. That UFO is absolutely beautiful. We saw lots of tire issues today, but right now all 4 of those Nitto tires are holding there. You can see those RCV boots, they're staying strong. Those Raceline wheels are still in good shape. So we'll get JP Gomez up here in just a moment, and it looks like here he comes. One last word from Dave Cole. Well, maybe a couple more words. You never know. He is wound up. That's an absolute fact. The Gomez brothers, the whole pit is walking the outside of the field to head to the Optima Battery stage to celebrate that second position. Unofficial for now, but JP Gomez is here in Hammertown. So much fun has been had. And third place, I don't even know who's going to make it here. But the sun's starting to sink just a little bit. But what a great, great day of activities it has been. And hopefully his brakes work, and they do. Man, oh man, so cool to see this UFO here. And just a quick walk around. Everything still looks like in great shape. These rear tires are completely chewed up but still working good as we get this tracker off here. Ben Napier, event director's having a quick chat with JP Gomez, as long as Lee O'Donnell. So JP Gomez, looks like you're going to be on the podium for 2 years in a row in a single seat. Nobody telling you where to go but yourself. I think, here we go. You're on hook, buddy. So he's trying to get her off. He's had that helmet on all day long. JP Gomez, all by yourself, looking like you're going to be on the podium once again. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Miles. I was going good, and me and Josh Byler were sending it through the rocks. I learned how to race through the rocks today to that guy. Hands off to him. We were just getting it through the rocks, and I got a flat, and damn UTVs went around, and next thing you know, I'm here.
Hey, you're here, buddy. Great job. Head up to the stage, have a chat with Pam, and then you're going in the booth to explain the rest of your day. But yeah, to be in a single seat, to do that well all day long, just a huge shout out to JP Gomez, back-to-back on the podium. Well, let's send it back to the Optima Battery main stage. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Miles. Always good to hear from you, and I can't wait to get JP Gomez up on stage. I've heard he's had media training.
You are a braver man than I am, Jim, to get JP up here. We're going to have to put up a 10-second delay for him on that. But I do want to hear about his day because I want to know what was broken in that car and what was he able to get fixed, because we saw that car dead stick on the trail for quite some time. But this is right here, Jim. Look at this. My tracker now shows him moving. This is the car that could possibly get third place. This is Robbie Gordon.
Absolutely, as JP Gomez makes his way up onto the stage. Single seat, Joe Thompson, UFO, IFS car. Last year's winner, of course. And he crosses the line, unofficially in second place right now. And he's going to have so many stories to tell. I'm going to wait for him to get out of the vehicle. And he's going to be speaking to Pam. And we're going to hear about what's been going on out there. Well, what's been awesome today is we've been able to watch so many of these stories unfolding using our Starstream, using our drones, our production crew. And we've seen him changing tyres. We've seen him fixing things on the car.
Yeah, we just made a comment, Jim, about this is Robbie Gordon right here, the next vehicle that's moving on course right here. And unfortunately, now we see him backed up and stopped. He may just be as we said before, this lap is all about navigation. Robbie's in that car by himself, and so he could just be figuring out where he's got to be on course.
Yeah, so just looking, it does look like he just gone the wrong way, so he'll just be sorting that out. Now, if you're watching the trackers at home, you will see that Jeff Wagner is making his way round, and he is, in the moment, somewhere near Whiskey on the Rocks. Unfortunately, he has missed a trail, so I don't know how that will pan out, but that's okay. Well, we have USAC, and we also have our race control, and they will be keeping us honest on that one. But getting out of his car right now is JP Gomez, and he will be joining Pam Hall. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for JP Gomez, our unofficial second place here at the 2025 Optima Batteries King of the Hammers, powered by Ford Performance. Pam, take it away.
Thank you, Jim. JP Gomez, sitting here watching you get out of the car. You had a rough day out there, but we're not going to go into detail about it right now because you're going to go talk with Ian and Jim. But JP, we saw you out of the car a couple times, and you're ready to be done.
Oh, man, it's part of racing, right? You go fast, you get flats. You go slow, you get passed by Josh Blyler. Me and him went back and forth. I was kind of cruising. First lap, I've never had a clean air on KOH in like my whole life, so that was nice. I was enjoying it, right? Like 85 miles an hour, and T-case was getting hot. Did good. Picked up a couple cars, and then Paul Wolf winched me on, checked me out. Hats off to him. Appreciate that. And I was gaining on Lauren, and then he was stopped on the end of the second lap coming in, and I knew I was in the lead physically, and but I knew Blyler was there because he caught me on lap 2 at idle issue. So every corner, every 90, he was right there. I'm like, damn, this guy's getting it. So I had to step it up, and man, me and him raced from the start right here to pretty much Whiskey Bowl or Whiskey Rocks, whatever the hell that is, and then Full of Hate. I know why they call it Full of Hate. I hate that damn trail. Jesus Christ. I made it up 3 waterfalls. I had a winch, but super fun out there. I mean, this was great. Got some more flat tires, battling with Blyler, and the freaking Can-Ams got by, and car died on me. I thought I ran out of fuel, so I had to be a JP wrench hand and start tearing this thing apart and just throwing parts out the window and got it going, and brought it home with a flat tire to the pit, and they put another tire on, and here I am.
Exactly, here you are, unofficially in that number 2 spot. Let's go ahead and get your photos really quick, and then we're going to send you up to the booth.
Want to say thanks to my wife, Jill, and the kids at home. I love them. And hopefully I put a good show on for you guys today. And all my guys right here, over here to the left, they make it happen. I get the fun part. I just get a beat on this thing for 8 hours straight. So all the sponsors, I mean, it's a whole army to get this car up on the box. Thank you.
All right, thank you, JP Gomez. Back up to the booth to Jim and Ian.
Thanks, Pam. We'll get JP up here in a minute while we're still hunting around on course to see what we're going to end up with for our next finisher here. And unless I need to get Jim up here to get onto this tracker, because unless I'm mistaken, there's a good chance that Robbie may have made a wrong turn.
No, don't tell us things like that.
Jim, get on that tracker and take a look, because unless I am mistaken, I believe Robbie is supposed to turn right at the end of Full of Hate, and it looks like he may have turned left.
No,
Here we are. We are now in with this tracker right now, live on screen. So this is the top of Full of Hate. This is what I'm looking at. Oh, no. So this is where we caught him on course a few minutes ago, where he was turning around and re-correcting himself. So now the tracker's pinged. He obviously figured out he went the wrong way and went back.
But I'm showing that Justin Wicks is now ahead of Robbie Gordon.
Yes, I'm showing the exact same thing. So now we have a battle for third.
But we're going to see something very interesting here as well. If Jeff Wagner continues on the way that he's continuing right now, he potentially will be the third car back in town. However, we do have that issue where potentially he has missed a trail, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Now, the one thing that we are going to have to keep an eye on, Jim, and this is not a decision that I get to make or a decision that you get to make, but if that tracker is correct and we saw Robbie Gordon make a wrong turn and then turn around and go the right way, did he go backwards on course?
Well, that's very true. Now,
but I don't think technically he would have, because he's on lap 3. He would have turned left onto what would have been lap 2. And then, I don't know. These are decisions I'm not going to make.
I think that's probably not one that you need to overthink.
Yeah, this would be where, as Dave would say when he runs up here and tells me to stop talking. So I'm going to stop talking about that. And what we're going to talk about is the fact that, yes, Jim said Justin Wicks has gotten ahead of Robbie Gordon, but now I'm also seeing movement as well with Brian Caprera.
Yeah, but now don't forget, that's being driven by Cody Young, and that is actually the bomber car that Chase won the 4800 with 1,000 years ago. So very interesting there. Now Chase Caprera, we've seen, now he's going, tough break for Chase. I think he's trying to make his way out of that trail, because he's certainly in a different position to where he was previously. So I think Chase might be broken.
So that's the 9901?
Yeah, that will be the
or are you looking at 1480? No, yeah. I think you're right. I've been watching Chase Caprera try to get down that dirt road for quite some time. I think he broke at the beginning of it. But yeah. Oh, and now I got a ping that Robbie. So yeah. So now we have Justin Wicks well ahead of Robbie Gordon, and then behind him is Brian Caprera. But you said Brian Caprera is not driving that car, right?
No, it's Cody Young driving that car. Now Cody Young actually won the Everyman Challenge.
Yeah, so Cody Young is in that car. In front of him, we believe, is Robbie Gordon, and then in front of him is Justin Wicks. So what went from us having nobody actually moving forward into third place to an actual race for third place?
Well, we think this is our third place at the moment. That is Robbie Gordon heading down towards Chocolate Thunder. Now, one thing that I do find notable here is look how the shadows are starting to lengthen.
Oh,
the sun is starting to disappear here in Johnson Valley, and these guys and girls are going to need some lighting. Now, if you think these trails are difficult during the daylight, they become a whole world of pain in the evening, that's for sure.
Hey, JP, get up here.
So as we continue watching this race, the big news today, of course, is that Kyle Cheney is our official King of the Hammers champion here at the 4400 Race of Kings.
All right, so we're doing something a little bit different this year. So we're now that we have this beautiful booth up in here, we're going to get our drivers up in here, and we're going to talk to them. Also because we've got a lot of time to kill, so we're just waiting for JP to get up in here. But, Jim, yes, I just see the tracker pings Robbie Gordon. Now, that's Robbie Gordon at the bottom of Chocolate Thunder making his way up into Idle Issues. And who I should see shortly here is Justin Wicks.
Yeah, Justin Wicks I'm showing just behind him. So all is good there. So he's making his way down through. And as you said before, Brian Caprera. So 3 cars have broken through Full of Hate and are making their way down. And now Joe Gatlin is joining the battle in Full of Hate. And just behind him is Christopher Branton.
All right, so Jim, this is Full of Hate.
And you can see there, that's Jason Shearer pulled up on the side. And it looks like there's another vehicle there.
Jim, I'm getting an update here that Cody Miller is trying to fix his car on trail and continue racing.
Well, do you know something? I was going to talk about this. When I first raced here in 2013, I carried a welder with me. So one of those ones that you run off of batteries. I think what they call, I have no idea what it's called now. And we actually had a part break on the vehicle, and we were able to take the batteries off the car, use those to weld the car back together so we could continue our race. So I was wondering if somebody might have a trial welder.
Here he is right here. I don't think that that's the case, but it looks like they've been able to get the front end at least it looks like a car again. It looks like one piece. Obviously the big it looks like they've got, you know what? The hardest working person on a job site is the ratchet strap. And there it is right there. So the ratchet strap right there is holding the front end of that car together.
I would argue it's my box of cable ties, but there we are.
Yeah.
Similar things.
Now, trust me, I do a lot of work with welders, and I'll tell you right now, welders love their ratchet straps. And so right now what we've watched is him use a winch line and a ratchet strap to basically pull the front of that car in. We're assuming they were able to get the steering hook backed up, and they're going to try to continue. Now, the reason that they are going to do that is because they only really have a few rock trails left from where they are. They basically have to come out of that trail. They can get up to remote pit. If there's anything else they need, they'll be able to get a little bit of work there. And then they just have to get over into the last few sections of rock trails, which is not a difficult spot. So it is smart for them to keep going. And here we're watching them right now. Let's see what happens here. They've got it ratched and ratchet strapped and winch strapped, and it appears to be moving forward.
Now, I always thought that cut and shuts were illegal, but there we are. Look at this, Cody Miller.
This is literally a car that was broken in half just a few minutes ago. They've ratchet strapped it together, but it's not happy though. It's not happy. But right there we go. That is who we're back to them. Oh, it's a little loose. It's got some looseness to the front. But
is this what we call a fully articulating front end?
This could be. The question would be, how realistically, if they can get it out of here, they can get it up to remote pit. If they get it up to remote pit, then they might be able to do possibly a semi-permanent repair. But realistically, I would look at myself and say, how long did it take us to get it to remote pit, and how much longer do we have to go? But really, they have a good lead on Robbie Gordon right now.
And also, let's look at it. They have outer limits. They have outer limits, and they also have spooners. So if they were to be able to get through spooners and outer limits, then they would be heading back in the desert back towards. But let's not forget, spooners and outer limits are very difficult trails. Now, we've just seen Tom Ways drive through the stage, which is a problem because we wanted him to drive through the stage, but not the way he did.
Oh, look at this, Jim. This is exactly who we're looking for. So right now on screen, that is Robbie Gordon. Right behind him is who we were looking for earlier but did not find. That is Justin Wicks. So Justin Wicks has now made the move up onto Robbie Gordon. This is out in that section of Lasertown Alley where we saw so much action between JP and Josh earlier today. So this right here is your race for third place, unless the Miller boys can possibly get their ratchet strap vehicle back into Hammertown, but they still have, I don't know. That's going to be a long day getting that back home.
Yeah, I was just watching that there. Robbie Gordon's just driven over our netting, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any penalties in for that. So this is Justin Wicks.
Yeah, so right now we are watching Robbie Gordon on the right of your screen, Justin Wicks on the left of your screen. This is exactly where we saw the battle between Josh Blyler and JP Gomez previously in the race, where we saw so much.
Hello? Go ahead. Open and operate. All right. Here's right to that. I'm holding up now. All right. Oh no. All right. Yeah, all those lights that go on are losing from one of the around. Yeah, great. complimented around last 39. Yeah, good, copy. Yeah. Circle back with them and have a break. Yeah, have the radio off and tell them it's out, so they can drive back, turn around, go out here back to. Coming in a remote tube. Do you need fuel? Hey, we're doing it. We're done.
You're done?
We're done.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
You don't have time to start lap 3, and we're going to run all these shows in the dark. We're done. These lights are all loose and front and bouncing around. Yeah, the lights are all doing this. So, hear me across this. Have someone check the wiring to your helmet. Have someone check the wiring to your helmet. I'll copy.
Water, Tom?
Huh?
Water, anything?
You sound great now. What did you just hear? One person can hear you just fine. Alright, so we just got the remote studio. We're going to call the race. We don't have lighting. All this flopping around. And we're not going to have enough time to go out on pit 3. I don't believe.
We got coals and food.
The middle range of the lap.
Time, they're not going to let us start 3 anyways.
2 hours. You're halfway through the lap with the hardest rock trails to go. Hour and 50 minutes to make it to the main area. So that's all I can tell you. Whether or not you think you can. I think you can, but that's not you.
We can make it. To where?
We can make lap 3.
I thought lap 3 cutoff was 5.
What's the cutoff for lap 3?
Time. There is a time limit.
My understanding is it's 6 p.m. So that would give you an hour and 15 minutes to make it to the main area.
You think we can run all those in an hour?
There's no traffic.
Just a clarification, that is 6 p.m. plus adjusted time, which you put your lap 6 20 for school bus.
Let's get this school bag out of here.
What did you say?
I was asking if you guys were wondering if you could start lap 3.
Because we haven't even... We're on lap 2 right now.
Still on lap 2?
Yeah, we're on 2.
I'll ask what the cutoff time is.
We need this one back.
Okay.
Hey, so, you guys call.
This one's
I'll let
heavy.
you know. We're going to put this light bar on and we can try to make it.
It's stacked full.
Got a new rack here and everything's good.
Where's the old rack?
Hey, the old rack is in the back blue bag. Oh, we need a spare tire too.
Yeah, that's it.
Need a re-rack on the tires.
Gotcha. You guys spar?
There's more tools over there. Mine I lose.
They're still down there. Yeah, 34 gallons remaining.
For lap 3 is 8 p.m.
Wait, to start lap 3 is 8 p.m.?
Correct. You are allowed to drive until 10.
So we can do it?
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
But that's your time limit.
We're going to do it.
That's right.